Callebs. We're joined by Don Lincoln. He is a senior scientist at Fermilab, America's preeminent particle physics laboratory. So, Don, this may come as a shock to you, but this is beyond my comprehension. So let's break it down like I'm a 3-year-old, because the artificial sun, just like what it sounds, it can produce very, very powerful energy that can burn clean. And the big significance of this, the study that was done by China and other nations showed that it was able to burn for 400 and some seconds, about 7 minutes, and that is important. Explain and explain.
Okay, so what you said is absolutely true. This idea of an artificial sun has been something that humanity's been working on since the 1950s, and it essentially will allow for infinite energy, or and clean energy at that. But the trick is effectively it is the same thing as what happens at the center of the sun. And the problem is, of course, it's very hot, and you have to be able to contain it. And that was what the achievement was, is that the scientists, the Chinese scientists, were able to actually make effectively a force field and contain that very hot plasma for almost 7 minutes.
Okay, so explain how this is different from some of the fusion ignition tests that are going on in the United States. And one thing that appears to be a stumbling block is it takes so much energy to create this energy, so they have to work that out.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of ways that fusion research is being pursued. One is to do what was done in China, which is to put this plasma in basically a big donut and keep it there with these magnets. The other possibility is to take little pellets of this nuclear fuel and zap it with lasers and cause it to fuse that way. So these are two different technologies that are being approached by various research groups. And this is just a very tricky business to do this.
Yeah, anytime you talk about something like that, I think you really adequately explained it. It is a tricky business. And when people hear about fusion and they hear about the power that's at the center of the sun, obviously people are going to be concerned about safety. Obviously, talk about that, and how far away are we from this actually being used to fight climate change?
Okay, so this is one of the wonderful things. Nuclear fusion it's a nuclear process, but it only works if it's very dense. And so that means you have to keep all of the nuclear fuel in one place. If for some reason the force fields break, what happens is it just kind of dissipates, and it can't be dangerous at all. It is amazing in that way. Furthermore, the amount of nuclear byproducts that are built or that are created is much, much less than you have in, say, a traditional nuclear reactor. So this is incredibly safe. As far as how long it's going to take, that's a hard thing. When this was first proposed back in the 1950s, scientists said it'll be 30 more years. When I was a student in the 1980s, they were saying it'll be 30 years. And, right now, I don't know how long it'll be, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 20 or 30 years. I mean, the reality is there are a tremendous number of working parts. And the real issue is you have to make as much power coming out of the reactor to first power the reactor, and then to make extra power that can then be distributed out to the network, to houses and businesses and such. And we're really quite a ways from there. But it is the future, and it's imperative that humanity continue to work in this, because it's the best way to get clean power.
Okay, Don, you have 15 seconds. Give me, on a scale of 1 to 10, why is this a big oh wow factor?
It is incredibly important because the ability to contain this contain the plasma has eluded scientists, and now that the Chinese scientists have been able to do a good job of containing it, it's the first step.
Okay.
7 minutes isn't forever, but it's the first thing we'll have to do.
Baby steps. Don Lincoln, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it.